And we're here. Hello. There we go. So this is our debrief of Pendragon 6th edition Quickstart. That was available last year at Gen Con and also is available at Drive Through RPG currently. The starter set is coming, I believe, next month, and at least that's the plan currently. So, and this is apparently like the first scenario of the starter set. So we'll go from the start. System thoughts.
I really liked it. It has like all the stats are like they have a lot of stats, but it's very like unique in how like your character is more this than this, but you can still go against that, and you have like passions and stuff. It's very cool, and it's definitely set up for very long campaigns.
Yeah. So
and stuff like that. It's like it.
Yeah. So what you're talking about is like the linked stats as like a guide of who your character is.
Yeah, and I also like how they change.
Yeah.
Like as your character progresses, your stats move to show that character progression, which I find really cool.
From GM, I will also say they are something that can also be used against the players. Like I tried to use the play. I had your character sheet. I was like, oh, your character sheet has a lot of lust. So let's try to throw debauchery in there to try to bribe you to get them to not tell them to stop their drumming and the music.
No.
So
my knight is so. Let me think here.
Your knight did have a lot of lust.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you can use it as the GM as like as a tool to lure and to prod, and give that those moral questions and yeah.
Yeah, I really like the traits, the balance, the two sides. Of the skills.
I felt maybe from our limited, like just tad bit of rules that we had, that these skills might have been a little ambiguous. Still, that there was like a lot of ambiguity about what certain things were, or like, you just kind of like looked at a scenario and been like, I don't think there's a skill for what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Yes. I felt that too. I do know that the previous edition, because I do have the previous edition that's up on the shelf, I'll get it in a moment, does have a lot more skills. This is a very abated version with skills for pre-made character sheets. So
okay,
if it helps, if you've played Call of Cthulhu before and see like the massive amounts of skills you get for that, same system, lots more different skills. So that is what I would suggest would be in the full, though I haven't seen 6th edition.
One thing I don't like about it is the +5s and stuff, which to me is pushing you to failure. Here, have a +5 to your roll, which now makes you more likely to fail.
The +5 would be a -5. It's you think
is it? Is it or is it
no,
not?
it's supposed
is it
to be
because you still want to be higher than your opponent. Say you're fighting, you still want to have the higher check. So a +5 is beneficial in that way, that you want a higher roll, but it also gives you more of a chance at failure. So it's, I don't know if it's designed that way, that you get this bonus, but it drives you more towards failure, or because then if it's the other way, if it's a -5, then it makes you worse in your combat. If you do like it really, that to me is really confusing, and I think really plays against the way the system is built.
I think my misreading, and it could be my misreading, is that the skill gets the +5, so you can put it up over, and skills can go over 20.
Oh, okay.
I think that could be my reading.
It's not to the roll; it's to this. It gives you a +5. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, because your skills can go over 20.
Yeah.
Which you can fail them, I think, if you get a 20.
Yeah,
but
that's always
you get criticals anything over 20.
How do you then get over 20? Yeah. See, it's still very confusing, and the limited resources we had did not flesh that out enough.
From the GM's point of view, there were things missing. Like explaining things to the GM. Oh, this is our mass battle rules. Like, where's the mass battle rules? Where's that? No, it's not there. Shit. That was an issue. And there's stuff in there which didn't need to be done, like, didn't need to be mentioned, like your stance in battle. Like, it does mention, oh, if in a normal battle you have this, and these 3 stances, and you choose which one, but because you're on horseback on a mounted thing, blah, 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 you're all choosing, it's all automatically this, and so don't even bother. So I kind of mentioned it in passing, because that's what it suggests to do, but it's nothing to do with this, really. It doesn't need to be in there. And there was a lot of a lot of written stuff, which I just skipped, because you don't need it all to set the scene, set the mood, set everything. There was something else there. The random chart in the city. While you rolled the same thing twice, we can get the +5s. And getting lost was pretty good as well. Some of the other ones, like your horse is now ill, and so you're screwed because you're on horseback for the tournament. That I think was a bad thing. But the passions, I wanted.
We didn't really get to use them
No.
and really see what the outcome of using a passion is.
Yeah, because again, we thought like the +5 was a penalty, I think.
Yeah, but
Yes.
but also they didn't really apply into this scenario. Like, it would have been better if the scenario really pushed, here is an opportunity for the players to use their passion today, and written it in for the GM to specifically, here's a part, show off these individual rules that you've got more clearly. Like, this wasn't a very
Optimized.
optimized one shot at all. Like, it was quite confusing, as it seems for both GM and player.
I would agree that the characters, maybe they could have had a little bit more flush backstory, or it was like your family or your lord is calling you to actually try and pull the stone sword out, or to be the one who is knighted king for your lord.
Oh yeah, what your role in the tournament is. Are you looking to get those big place kills, or are you just looking to, help your fellow teammates out and stuff? Like, the background just told me, I'm a dude from Rome, and there's stuff going on in my hometown many, many miles away that I don't need to know about for this one shot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, Zaraeea, you overread into your background to create the background.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's I work for the lady in the lake, and I was like raised
really?
to. Yeah, it's trained your whole life as a knight in service to Vivian de Luc, a lady of Bruxelles, and I looked it up. Pendragon RPG. She's canonically one of the ladies of the lake.
Okay. So you researched your character to
find
This
reading.
is just me guessing.
Yeah.
This is me. I looked it up in the RPG.
So you had to look it up.
Tell you it. Like, you had to do it
Yeah,
yourself.
they
Is
didn't
what
tell
you're
me
saying.
Yeah.
But I wanted it.
Yeah.
And she's like, she heard of Merlin's prophecies. So she was like, oh, the world's about to change in a major way. You need to go and witness it and be there when it changes. So I'm like, okay. I'm going to take that and become my entire personality. It's not a lot of information, though.
And the fact that you had to look that up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's plenty of information about the place I'm from and the things I have here on my sheet, if I had have looked them up in the extended thing and found out. But
Probably.
That's not for me. That's not for me to do as a one-shot player at all.
No.
I need the information that's relevant in front of me. And this was a lot of irrelevant information for this one shot.
I also say it's not just a one shot. This is very much a convention play. So this is, you sit down at a table at a convention. You may have had to book the table to confirm your slot. You may have had to pay money to make sure you confirm your slot and everyone's going to turn up. You're playing with usually going to be strangers and a new system to you. You get 5 minutes to explain the rules, and then while that's going on, you can pick your characters between everybody, and that's it. And go jump into it.
Yeah, well, this is.
I mean,
this is ill designed for that.
Yeah, it doesn't give a lot of one of the main reasons I even thought to look it up to see if she was the lady in the lake in Pendragon RPG was because I'm a major European mythology nerd.
Mhm.
So I already knew the name Vivian DeLuc was the name of one of the ladies in the lake, or one of her names. And also the city that she's from is Lady Vivian locked in one of the tales, locked Merlin up in Breslau-le-Den, and like whatever, it's history, mythology, nerd stuff that is outside context that they should probably give you.
Yeah, even just a little bit.
Yeah,
I
a
think-
little bit of
Yes.
why does she know about the prophecies? Why is she do like? Why is this say you're a bit strange and mythical? What does that mean? If I didn't know about this, who Vivian DeLuc was,
Exactly.
I wouldn't have known what to do with that.
You shouldn't have to know the lore of Pendragon to pick up this
Yeah.
one shot.
Yeah, or like as even convention players, sit down table here, done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so to play the convention. Yeah.
I will say, because I've actually played this myself. I played this with I played this year at a convention, and like I got given the character which suits my play, which was Sir Avalok, and just being a smart ass, I was like, okay, I can do that. Which is why when I saw this, like, Dr. Oblin's most likely just going to be Sir Avalok because that's what he can do really well and he enjoys it. But I do like it does say, pick this if you like to do this. The problem is with Dame Tomorrow is if you want to play a knight with a bow and arrow,
And you get no opportunity to use it.
and there's no real opportunity to pretty much use it.
I didn't get to swing my axe.
It's
Very
same thing.
sad.
I was waiting
Yeah.
for a chance to shoot somebody.
Yeah, I was going to try to, in my preps for this, I was thinking, like, okay, do I want to do stretch this over two, like just make up an entire new thing with like not just like the grand melee, but also a fighting tournament, like a one-on-one fighting tournament or an archery competition,
Archery
things like that. How I actually played this wasn't the grand melee as well. How I played this, how it was run for me, at the convention was a joust tournament of like you pick your enemies and you can joust, and so you can pick like the person that you saw drunk the other night because you know it's going to be an easy target, or like a king, or blah. Like the what we did today was far closer to as written rules or as written in the book.
And like for this, like they try to, it seems like, wedge in the most important part of Pendragon, where Arthur pulls the sword from the stone, the most important, well-known story of it, into this one shot where it does not need to be at all.
I
It
agree.
could have been something way simpler, way less grandiose, that just let the players dive into what it is to play as a character in this world.
And in a night,
you didn't need to have all the extra lore that is surrounded by this world that they've either sometimes put in or didn't.
I mean,
The system seems fun, but just this.
It's a good, like,
adventure.
this one shot is a good way to introduce your players into this world if you're going to do a long campaign. Going from Arthur first getting the sword to very late in his reign. But it's not like a good do it in one go.
I would say it's a very flashy way to sell the product if you're at a convention.
Yeah.
Like to get you straight into it, sure. I will say there is a campaign because I do have Pendragon. I got Pendragon 5th edition, 5.2 actually, and I've really liked it. I've never actually gotten to play or ran it. But like I do know that there is the Great Pendragon campaign, also the Great Arthur campaign, or whatever it is. Uther campaign is like it spans like 200 years, 300 years, or something like that, and it's a mega campaign, and that's the best and the biggest and I think most well known of the Pendragon campaigns, where it is about the round table and it is about the drawing of the sword and all the bits and pieces, and this kind of just puts it into this tiny little you were there, and I think that cheapens what is actually a really big storyline which you can do.
They could have done a simple storyline that just lets mechanics of the game shine through way better than what they did. And
Yeah.
like have it where you use your skills, you use your things, and then at the end you have your battle, whatever it be, and people get to use their bow, get to use their axe, or get to, if for me, because I was the one that was really good at lancing, hopefully I'll probably, get to ride around on my horse and hit some people with my lance. Like have that where each character that is obviously clearly designed like that get to do that, rather than make everyone that's not designed to be fighting with a horse and lance fight with a horse and lance.
Yeah.
And fail all their rolls.
Yeah. And that kind of does make them fail the rolls.
Yeah, exactly.
There's also a thing like of glory. And so you're supposed to give out glory for successes and whatnot, because you're always supposed to be accumulating glory.
So yeah, I assume I would have accumulated glory for my 2 takedowns.
Yes. There's not really mentioned in the book about it. Like there's mentions, but not like rebated weapons deal half damage. Note, glory awards for defeating opponents with rebated weapons are reduced by 1/10 of their normal value. What's the value?
Never gives you.
It's not there.
It's not in the PDF. So yeah.
So when I did it, like in the conclusion, blah blah blah, tally up the award 10 glory for every check statistic. We didn't really do the check statistics, and 50 glory for each player knight who recognized Arthur's claim to the throne. So that's 2 of you. Yeah. So I mean, I would have given him. There had to be a minus glory to strike the king in the back. But
yeah. But there would have been positive glory for my 2 kills earlier.
And so you could have like negative them. Yeah.
You balance out.
Them,
yeah.
So you could have had that, but it's still like when it's not really written in the book very well of where the stuff is, and it needs to be there when it's there, and it's not in the right spots. I will say that I've played the starter sets for this is from Chaosium. I played the starter sets for Call of Cthulhu and for Runecrest, and especially Runecrest has done they are some of my best starter sets that I've got in my collection, because especially Runecrest, because they write the characters into the stories. And Runecrest has over 24 characters. It has 14 characters to choose from massive varieties. You can easily pick what you want and what suits you, but they specifically say in the scenarios that a player with such and such, and there's got in brackets the player's the character's name, would do really well to roll this in this circumstance, and would recognize it. So it does pull things in. This one didn't really have that, and so Avalok seems to be almost like the main player character in this, because he's got really good horsemanship and really good
horsemanship, really good lancing, and he's kind of the jovial talky one. So in that intro, he gets to do all that kind of stuff as well.
Also, he's the only one that can read apparently the inscription on the sword and the stone thing, because that's mentioned. That's all the other knights are illiterate, so this person can do this role. Blah blah blah.
Illiterate.
Oh yeah, I had a literacy skill of 3.
Yeah,
I was 0. I can't read.
Yeah, so that's the thing. There's also something, I don't know, it's in the 6th edition. Going back to the passions again, I mentioned this to everybody before. You can just elect to say, I'm passionately in love with this woman, and just write down passion 60 on your sheet, and then use that from that point on. That's in the previous edition. It might they're using passions in this edition. I don't know if that's still a part of it. So you can then find out, that woman's got a husband. I have a passionate hatred against the husband now, and use that against the husband. So that's also a part of the passion system. But again, we didn't really use them as much because we don't know the full rules yet as well of what's coming out. Rebated weapons didn't really seem to do damage, which was really annoying.
Yeah, yet again.
I'm wondering
and
if we weren't supposed to have shields while we have lances.
no, you
That's-
can totally use it lance and shield, like, but
You're
no,
Okay.
supposed to.
it's just yet another. Like,
Yeah.
yes, it makes sense in the tournament but it's just another flaw in their
Storytelling.
writing of this writing that it, like, yes, it saves player characters from dying on the battlefield, but it doesn't matter in a one shot. If your battle's at the end, it's kind of cool if some people die on the battlefield and stuff like that. Like,
Well, let's take injuries.
yeah, and stuff like
True.
that. And it's just, it just looks like an oversight yet again. Like, this just looks like they've taken the start of this really famous campaign and put it here with so many gaps and pieces missing. And yeah, it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But I would like to, I really like some of the ideas within the system and would have really enjoyed playing them properly, but didn't really get the chance to.
Yeah. And like how this ends as well, you can choose either side. You can go against the kid, you can try to strike the kid, or you can try to strike and of course the kid doesn't get killed, plot armor, but you can side with the enemy, like with the bad guys. And you can I think you can play the next things with the bad guy, or you might be able to play the next things with the bad guys. I didn't even realize that this was part one of the starter set. But I'll have to see the starter set when it comes out next month. But yeah, so D100s work better than, or say D20s work better than D100s.
Yeah.
Because this is called Cthulhu's D100 system.
It just simplifies it.
Yeah.
It's still the same odds, basically. You're just not getting down to the,
The
really
1%, yeah.
the 1 percentiles. You
Yeah.
just hit 5 percentiles on each roll instead, and it still doesn't matter.
I'd also say people are just generally, it's a little nicer to just roll a d20, even with the extra math, than rolling 2 dice and being like, which one's my 10s, which one's mine.
Well, we do
Unless you
use
have a 10th place.
VTTs.
Yes, we do use
Yeah.
VTTs.
So,
I'm
if
just
it's
saying
virtual
for
tabletop, it's
those
not
that
hard.
for those that play on paper.
Then you get yourself a D100. They're
Well,
also known
they're
as golf balls. They're about that big.
When they-
Yeah.
When they're using percentile dice and they have to.
Yeah, no. There's easy ways to do the math.
Yeah.
And keeping it simple with D20s, big thumbs up from me.
Yeah. And I just want to do a spoiler alert. Of like a big spoiler thing. If you're going to play this, just don't listen for about 30 seconds. Because I'm going to tell you what the number I had in my head, which is what is written down and how it's written down. Just give me a second. I'll just get this loaded up for what I wrote down, what I pasted. Okay, so spoiler alert, don't listen 30 seconds. So, with the drawing of the stone, this is what is written. Tell the players you're thinking of a number, and that if they can roll it, if they can roll it on D20, they will succeed. Don't tell the players that number you're thinking of is 23. So, yeah, that's pretty dodgy.
Yeah.
It is
Yet
pretty
again,
dodgy.
it's just silly.
It doesn't need to be done.
Yeah.
And it also feels kind of like, I don't know,
Cheating.
if the rest of the system is based upon I have to roll lower to succeed, and now I have to just hit a number.
Yeah, that felt strange to me. I
Yeah.
felt
Suspicious.
weird that it was suspicious, very suspicious.
Yeah.
And
it should have been.
Extra confusion.
And transparency amongst a GM and their players is a good thing. Putting it into a thing and promoting non-transparency and that kind of backdoor shenanigans is not a good thing at all. Like
And that's
Players don't
like that, and
they don't
you
want to be
shouldn't-
cheated.
no.
And this is right from the start too. This is like a quick start. So
Yeah.
this is like,
Yeah,
don't
this
really
is
have
the
a chance,
first thing
though,
you're
you can-
offered. Yeah, no.
if you had a party of 20 people and they each roll a different number on the dice. Oh no, it's a different number. It's not like, and we've gone through AD&D, the introduction to AD&D, which had a lot of that shit in there, and I told you about that.
Yeah. But
Like-
this, for this to be a modern game and still be sort of pushing that kind of line is kind of, it's just shit.
Yeah. Though saying this is a modern game, this is a modern version of the game, which is upwards of 30, 40 years old now.
Yes, but as I
Just
said,
scary,
it's the updated version where they understand, game manufacturers understand what is expected at a table and stuff like that. And that kind of stuff just doesn't fly at most tables.
Speaking of which, of acceptance of the table, with dames in this, and how ladies are treated in Pendragon, the 5.2, we've also got, I should also mention, I've got Paladin 2, which is the European version essentially. Instead of just England, this is more the Burgundy, Germany, that type of area with Charlemagne. But when in the older version, women don't get to fight because they're ladies. I will say I do like that we have now dame characters who are fighters, because that's accepted at the table.
Yeah,
you can probably play the old stereotypes, but it's
medieval England, but we have a wizard. If you've got Merlin, you're allowed to have women that can fight.
Also,
come on, that's just bullshit.
It is really low fantasy. It's
low fantasy, but it's still fantasy, and I hate to tell you, but historically women have fought. So
there's also
Joan of Arc.
a sword in an anvil that then picks the next king.
And there's no basis for a government.
No,
it's silly
not at
time
all.
handing out swords. Silly time to
The violence inherited in the system.
Oh, shut up. But yes. I mean, I'm looking forward to the next, for the starter set to come out to have a look at it. But as a quick start, I think I agree that it does fail in many lines. But the system itself has potential. And
the system definitely has potential. It's just they did not present it
well
in any way that makes me actually want to continue trying it. If this is the product that they are happy putting out. Concept behind the system's great, but
this is also supposed to be the magnum opus of the system. This is this is 6th edition, which is Greg Stafford had been working on for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And these are a compilation of everything put together into the system. So, I'll have a look at the starter set and see if you want to play the starter set, and see how the rules expand and if there's any improvements there. But generally, I've been impressed with the starter sets. They put a lot more effort into a lot of the flaws we've seen. And we can even play RuneQuest starter set if you want, which very similar systems, with the linked stats and things like that. But it's Bronze Age fantasy with a lot of magic.
Runes.
Yeah, a lot of runes. Everyone has runes, and you have the linked stats and everything to guide. So, any other thoughts or questions or?
Nope.
No.
Oh yeah, one question. Do we know what we're playing next?
No and yes. So last night I was oh yeah, we need more players. So I was tell us in the loop, because I'm kind of running it as a test at the moment. So I actually know it in my head at the moment. That's my only thought at the moment. Is Talos in the Loop. It is same system as Alien. The dice pool. Sorry. The Irishman.
It's not bad.
It's playing kids in the 80s. So you can have a bit of fun with that, and it's a lot less serious than Alien.
But can we have a death counter for kids in the 80s?
There's no death counter, because you're playing from 10 to 13-year-olds. So there isn't a death counter. Injuries work differently. The most injury you can be is broken, which could be emotionally or physically broken. I can't continue. That's how it works with that. And we didn't even have death counter for today really used. We need to get more D&D, shall we?
There's still the reverse dungeon.
Yeah, that's a project to
True.
do on. That's a project to do.
Reverse dungeon.
Oh boy. But I think that's everything for the wrap up of this. We'll do our shout outs because we didn't do it for the last part, but yes. Zaraeea, a shout out, please.
Hello, I'm Zaraeea. You can find me on basically any and all platforms with the name on the screen because I'm lazy and I don't want to change it.
Unless I've misspelled the name on the screen.
You've put an extra E in there.
Sometimes there's an extra E. See, sometimes other people have gotten the idea before me. And so half the time it's one E. And sometimes it's two E's. Or the other way around.
I was joking. Because I often do.
No, I genuinely do this. Sometimes it's two E's and sometimes it's one E.
So I'm okay.
It depends on how I feel.
I'm okay.
I think my Twitch is two E's. And so is some other things.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I've got to probably update all the credits roll as well and make sure they're all correct. Oops.
I can't do anything about that.
Yep. Is that everything? Sorry for distracting you.
Nope, I'm good. That's it.
Okay. Oblivion.
I'm OblivionShay. You can find me as OblivionShay on Twitch. I'll be here on Thursdays for the foreseeable future to play whatever we're going to be playing here. And today I was playing the very strong-armed, but unfortunately not very lance skillful or horseback skillful Dame Hilwind or Hilda or Childens.
Or
whatever else.
The D in the overlay doesn't look like a D. That's why yeah. That's what got me a lot of the time. And you putting an A in there got me.
I didn't put an A in there.
Yeah, Hilda? Where's the R?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quenhild.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I got it right. Anyway. Dr. Oblong.
G'day, I'm Dr. Oblong. Today I was playing Sir Abelock, the Great Lancer, and just, luckily picked the right character. Only one to get kills, so I feel good about that. But I am also an electronic music artist. You can listen to my music at SoundCloud/Dr. Oblong. And yes, you can also catch me on here.
Catch these hands.
On Monday nights and Thursday nights. I also play for our upcoming, what's the name of the system again, Karsh?
Scum and Villainy.
Scum and Villainy game, yes. Which hopefully shall be launching quite soon.
Soon, some point, yeah. Oops, that was back. Yeah, that was wrong. So why didn't that work? I can't. Let's do that again. Go there. Okay. So, thank you for coming in. We're going to be rating Ticking Time Bomb Gaming. So, Ticking Time Bomb Gaming, actually, they purely do Pendragon. And this guy knows his shit. I've spoken to him a few times on Roll20. Really knows his Pendragon lore, knows his Pendragon shit. So that's why, this is one of the first times I've seen him live on Twitch, because he does a lot of his stuff on YouTube. So this is just accidental. So this is awesome that we get to raid Time Bob or Ticking Time Bob. So yeah, they're playing Open Pendragon Battle of St. Albans year 495, because they actually have yearly tick overs for each episode, because each adventure is a year, which actually works really interesting in the big full system. But they're playing 5th edition or 5.2. We're playing 6th edition, so we're awesome. And let's go raid them and let's go share the love. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all the bits and pieces on YouTube's. Which I can, yeah. So bye, everybody.
Bye.